So I found this booth behind me. They do carbon ceramic disc brakes for road bike, and they got a demo they're setting up, so they're putting it against a standard steel rotor, and they're just resetting it at the minute, so I'm desperate to see what this looks like under load. So they just told me all of these standard Shimano steel rotors have all been really burnt out. I mean, they might be salvageable. You can see they're blued because they've got so hot. All of these have been kind of burnt out, as it were, and it's the same carbon ceramic disc, so yeah, the durability seems to be pretty nuts. Now, they use proprietary brake pads, because that was my first question, right? Yeah, you can't use standard resin, metallic pads in these, but yeah, you do need proprietary pads on these discs. So the test, they could only run one side at a time, actually, because running both kept tripping the fuses on the booth. So yeah, 2 minutes on the standard steel rotor, it got really toasty. I saw it top out at 420C on the thermal camera, but I think it was way hotter than that, to be honest. Either way, it got cooked. And yeah, here are the brake pads after the run. So these are all the brake pads here that they've burnt through. Sintered metal, and you can see they're absolutely charred to pieces. This one's falling apart here. So yeah, they've really put these pads and rotors through the ringer with this machine. Now, the carbon ceramic rotor, honestly, not much to see, to be honest. Again, a 2-minute test, and again, the temp on the thermal camera topped out at 420. I was impressed, but yeah, who knows what the actual braking would be like and how the coefficient of friction on these rotors actually compares to steel. So having a quick look at the setup as well, it's all relatively well controlled, so exactly the same brake calipers, same brake lines, and they've got a kind of a weight system on the brake lever here. It's not like someone's loosely holding on to the carbon ceramic one and then really grabbing the regular disc rotor. Yeah, exactly the same weight for both. Now, I asked about cost for a single unit with pads, about $200, but they said they're kind of targeting 2 sets of rotors, so 2 160 rotors, 4 sets of pads, targeting under $400. So it's not cheap, but you know, this is kind of super cutting edge. I mean, carbon ceramic brakes on a road bike, bonkers. All right, let's do a quick weigh-in. So if I bang this disc rotor on, very standard Shimano disc rotor, quite a chunky one, admittedly, but what are we looking at for that? 177 grams for this thing. This one is 75.3 grams for a 160mm rotor with quite a chunky aluminium spider. That is not bad at all. That's in line with some really lightweight steel rotors. Yeah, 75.3 grams for that. So yeah, in terms of the kind of application for those brakes, really extreme scenarios, presumably, because carbon ceramic deals with high heat incredibly well. It's used in motorsport, and yeah, if you want to like really stamp on the brakes and you need consistent braking under high heat applications, carbon ceramic's the way to go. But on a road bike disc brake, I don't know. As far as I'm aware, carbon ceramic isn't particularly good until it gets up to temp. My understanding was that from cold, which is, you know, the majority of braking you're going to be doing, it's not fantastic. So it can be quite loud, quite squealy, and yeah, the bite isn't great and comparable to, you know, standard steel. Once they get up to temp, that's when the advantages really come in, or at least that's my understanding. That's why you see them on cars that do a lot of track days, or, you know, race machines, GT3, etc. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to get hold of a set because they do look really cool. Maybe they've done some magic with the, you know, brake pad compound they've got on there. But yes, certainly interesting. Not cheap, but then they would be like supremely durable. One of those rotors, and they chewed through like, what, 30 discs they had on the booth? So durability's up there. I don't know, braking application, I got some big questions around that. But yeah, as soon as I can get my hands on a set, I'll try.